Hey, everybody. Welcome to Monday morning. Good to have you here. Please make use of that chat section there. Put any comments, questions, suggestions. I don't know. Tell me what the weather is where you're at. Doesn't really matter, but just make sure you participate. I've got it set up here where I can chat back and forth with you. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. Should we be live more places? That's enough. I think that's enough. Okay. Today we're going to be talking about some tricks and tips that you can use to really explode your website traffic. If you have a website, tell me about it. Put it in the chat section. Let me know. I know some of you guys aren't going to be watching live. You're going to be watching the recorded version, and that's fine too. I come back, I go into those comments, I answer you guys. Got a bunch to do this morning. I think I got, I don't know, a couple hundred I've got to respond to this morning. And that's exciting for me. I love doing that. I love getting questions from you guys. I love getting your comments. I love getting your input. So please, please, please make good use of that chat box. Make good use of those comments if it's recorded. And yeah, we want to talk about websites today. Oh yeah, I also want to talk about the fact that you need to subscribe. You need to hit that subscribe button down there. Turn it from red to gray if you don't mind by clicking it. And as soon as you click it, a bell is going to pop up. A bell that looks identical to this. Well, not exactly identical, but there's going to be a bell next to it, and you need to turn on all bell notifications. That way you're going to be notified every time I go live, every time I upload a video, you guys will know about it. So please, please, please turn all that stuff on, make it a whole lot easier for you. You don't have to go hunting and searching for my stuff. It'll just be there. All right, so let's check this out today, guys. If you've got a website, Sophia Sharp, what's going on? VAS Tech. Okay, cool. So that may be her website right there. Sophia, good to have you here. I really appreciate you being here today. And you are with us on YouTube. You're on YouTube, okay? Because we got Facebook and we got YouTube going. So we got them both going. So guys, really, you don't want to miss today's session. Today's session is so very helpful. These are some, I guess, tips and tricks, but also mistakes that people make. You know, sometimes the work you do is actually a mistake, and I want you guys to know about it. When you're doing websites, I've been online since 2009, and I say online, I mean, I've used the computer online much longer than that, but actually earning a living since 2009. So I'm going on 12 years, if I can do the math right. Yeah, 12 years of making some money online. I've sold millions of dollars of both digital and physical products. This channel is really y'all's channel. It's not my channel. You can tell I'm from the South by saying that, right? But it is really a channel that I want to be a resource for you guys to keep coming back to learn different things you can do to make money online. I think it's an awesome thing to be able to make money online. I think that's really, really cool to be able to do that. So that's why I have this channel. All right, so let's jump right into it. I want to go through this list here. I've compiled a list of different things. But I know a lot of you just really struggle with what you want that website to look like. And these items are going to really help you out a whole lot. The first thing I'll tell you is that when you're doing a website and you're doing Facebook and you're doing Instagram and you're doing all these different things, keep things consistent. That's number one. Keep things consistent. A consistent brand is more than just a logo. Okay. So don't think, well, I slapped my logo on there, so it's consistent. No, that's not consistency. You want to have something that people can easily recognize, easily recognizable. Keep your style, keep your font, keep your color and logo consistent. Okay. So all of these things, it's not only your online store, but all your other platforms, social media, like I said, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you're doing, TikTok, make sure they're all consistent. Okay. And if you have a hard time with this, what I suggest you do is do one platform. Okay. Let's say you take your website and you get the fonts you like, and you get the logos you like, and you get the colors you like, and you set that aside, maybe on another computer, and then you pull up your Instagram, then you pull up your Facebook. Make sure they all look the same. Okay. You want to be recognizable, guys. If you're not recognizable, it's really hard to build a brand. And I'm doing another video this week. I'm going to be live today, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Okay. So if you missed any of these, you can go back and watch some of them. But I'm going to be live 4 days this week, so you can get some really good information. But I'm going to be doing one on branding, and it's an entire half hour on just branding, which I think is pretty cool. It's stuff that you really need to know. All right, so You need to, number two, develop a brand voice, okay? A brand really goes way beyond your name and logo, okay? It really tells the people out there who you are, how you're going to show up in the world. What do you want to say to the world? What is your message? You know, my message for Survivalcave Food, which is my e-commerce business that I sell survival food on, is helping families prepare. And that's what we do, whether it's a hurricane, whether it's a tornado, a fire, a flood, whatever it is, we want to make sure people have food. So Survivalcave Food, and you guys can check that out too. That's survivalcavefood.com. But you'll see the branding there. All right. So your brand is really an exciting opportunity to connect with your customers. You can tell people why your product is unique, and you can gain customer loyalty. You do want to try to set yourself apart from everybody else. Explain why you're different, okay? If it's the same thing over and over again, you know, they could go anywhere to get it. Why are you different? Maybe you have better services. Maybe you have better customer support. Maybe you have really fast shipping. Maybe you have a higher quality product. You know, Survivalcave Food, that's what we go to, is we have a higher quality product. We have some of the best canned meats in America. We've been there for, you know, over a decade now. And it's funny because I see people try to do knockoffs of our product, and it's not even survival food. You know, they'll take some company and can some meat for them, and they go, look, it is survival food. No, it's not. Okay, it doesn't last as long as our food. It's not processed the same way. It's not good. And I see this over and over again. So make sure your branding matches what your message is. When it comes to shopping online, I mean, guys, this is a different arena. Okay, you can develop that voice and the key design elements which are available, you know, no matter what website platform you're using, whether you're using WordPress or whether you're using Wix or Google or Magento or whatever it is. But there's so many tools out there now. You can set yourself apart from everybody else. And that's what you've got to do. You got to set yourself apart. Guys, don't forget to use that chat section. I don't see a lot of people using it. I want to make sure you're getting your questions answered. You're putting out the name of your website there. You're commenting on what you like, what you don't like, what you would like to see training on. So make sure you use that. That is true also if this is a recording you're listening to. Now, right now, just so you know if it's a recording or not, it's 10:07 Central Standard Time right now in beautiful downtown Georgetown, Texas. I guess we're really not downtown. I don't want to say that, but we're in Georgetown, Texas, which is just north of Austin. But your brand, when it comes to shopping online, you can deliver that voice and design elements just as rich as you can possibly make it so that people really know who you are. To get started, okay, now if you're wondering about how do I get started doing all this, JR, use a custom font and color palette to connect your brand across all your different platforms. You can choose from unlimited number of colors and plenty of typography options right from the internet, okay? DaFont is a really good site to go to, DAFONT, and it has all kinds of different fonts in there. The one thing I'll tell you, and I see people do this, and it makes it look so horrible, is don't mix a whole lot of different fonts on your website. Don't do that. What you can do is you can take your font and you can make it italicized or bold in different places on your page, but keep consistent with the same font. When you use a whole bunch of different fonts, it just comes out ugly, okay? So that's really important that you understand that. You can't mix all these fonts, guys. It just doesn't look right. Next thing I'm going to tell you, number three, I think I'm up to number three. Yes, I am. Number three is use really high quality photography, okay? Now, all of us now have these phones, okay? And these phones can really give you beautiful pictures. I have the iPhone 13 Pro Max, whatever the heck it is, biggest, you know, best one they have. And it can take videos in cinematic mode, which means the background is kind of blurred out, but the person that you focus on is very crisp and clear. You can do the same thing. And what do we call that? Let me pull something up here, guys. I want to make sure I tell you the right thing. Portrait mode. When you're taking pictures, you can do it in portrait mode. And what portrait mode means is it really focuses on whatever the object is and blurs out the background. So it makes it stand out, okay? Images can draw users to your website quicker than almost any single element you could possibly use. As a matter of fact, 90% of shoppers believe that the quality of the product photos is extremely important to their purchase or at least very important. They're not going to buy if you have bad pictures. I see a lot of people will have a product and they use stock pictures that's on the manufacturer's website. Now, we are the manufacturer, so I've got no excuse for that. However, guys, you want to have really great pictures, and you don't want to have one or two. You want to have a bunch of them. Okay. You want to have numerous pictures of your product. Super important that you do that. Presentation is sometimes as important as the product itself. Matter of fact, I would say that's more important than the product itself. You want to be meticulous about the way your product looks in the photographs on your site. You don't have to have a lot of equipment. Like I said, I have one of these cell phones that has a great camera on it, but your lighting is super important. So make sure you have the right lighting. Don't backlight things. I see a lot of people do that where they'll have a light behind it and then they take a picture of it and you get all these shadows in the front. You want to make sure it's lit from the front. You can have a light behind you, but you need front lighting to get a really good picture. Just as important as how you take the photos is how you create the overall design of those photos. You want to couple your product shots and lifestyle together. So, if you have, I don't know, some exercise gadget, let's say it's some weights. Okay. Pictures of the weights are good, but pictures of people using those weights is so much better. Okay. Because they can actually see it in action. They can actually, impose themselves into that picture and say, hey, that's what I'm going to look like doing that. You can do some before and after pictures if you want to do that, if you're doing the exercise thing. But basically, you need to have great pictures. And if you have a lot of distracting things in the background, that's not good. You want to crop all that stuff out. You also want to have some images where it's just the image on a white background. You want to have some PNG images. PNG images means there is no background whatsoever. And that's what a lot of websites like Google are going to require you to do, is to have the background blown out. I said Google, excuse me. Amazon is going to require you to do that. You want to fix the pictures. Okay. And how do you fix them? You want to adjust the color, the brightness, the contrast, and even add text and images right in your photo editor. Now, I use Photoshop. However, there's a lot of photo editors out there now. There's a lot of cheap ones you can get for $9 or $10. Why have a picture that you took and you didn't retouch it? Why have that? I don't understand that. You want to make sure it looks as good as it possibly can. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to tell you, number 4, is I want you to share your work. Now, this may seem like a really, really obvious things, but a lot of website owners forget to share their website and promotions with people they know. It all starts with a single person. I can't count how many times I've been out in public and talked to somebody about online stuff and said, hey, this is my channel. And they said, well, I'll check it out when I get home. I say, no, pull it up right now on your phone and hit subscribe. I've got a lot of subscribers doing that. Now, you may say, JR, that sounds kind of cheesy and I would be embarrassed doing that. Well, then you're going to be more embarrassed when you get bills in the mail and you can't pay them. Okay. I would rather tell somebody about the channel and watch them subscribe as I'm standing there than to be scared to say anything about it. And then they're going to go home and forget about it. They're never going to look for your channel. So if you're out in public somewhere, it's a one-on-one thing. Every subscriber I have, I got one at a time. I didn't get 50 subscribers at a time. I didn't get 100. I got one. We're approaching 6,000 now, which isn't huge. I understand that. However, I started with 0 and I'm going to keep going and going and going as we build the channel and help you guys out. So you got to share your work. You can't be scared to share your work. If your website is connected to different social media platforms, talk about it on those other social media platforms. You can also add social media integrations. I have one, and I can't think the name of it off the top of my head now that I brought it up. This is what happens when you go live. Okay, you've got this information in your head, but it's hard to get it out your mouth. I'll think of it. I will think of it. I'll cover it. But you want to make sure you do that. You want to make sure that all of your viewers can connect with you. Okay, if you don't have a link going to your social media platforms on your website, you need to have that. Okay, that needs to be there. Now, I am not a proponent of having huge logos for Facebook and Instagram and YouTube at the top of my website, because what that's going to do is it's going to pull them away from your website. You want to have those links down on the bottom somewhere so that they can find them, but you want to make sure that they're not leaving your website to go there, because they will do that. They will do that actually. Okay. And guys, this, some people will say to me, well, JR, I've done that. I did that 3 years ago. I did this and this and this. You got to go back and revisit. you will be surprised how many things break on a website. I don't know why. I don't know if there's some demon that comes in there and messes up the website or not, but somehow things always seem to break on your website. They break on your emails. They break on your links. You got to go back and check these things, and you got to update them. You know, it's funny. I can go to a website that was made 10 or 15 years ago, and I can look at it and go, yeah, that was made 10 or 15 years ago. It's really pretty obvious when you see some of these websites how old they really are. You've got to update your website. You got to keep it fresh. You know, and if it's not something you want to do, go to Upwork, go to Fiverr, hire somebody. I have a couple people that help me out on my website. Well, I got actually five people that help me out on my website. And I need that help. I know I can't do all this on my own. My job is to create content. Now, that's not to say that I shouldn't know what they're doing or how long it takes or, you know, any of those things, because if you don't know that, you can't manage them. Okay. You can't manage them if you don't understand what they're doing. It's so crazy. I see people go out and hire people to build websites and do SEO and do all these things, but they don't know how to do it themselves. So how do they know if they're being charged right? How do they know if the work is even getting done if they don't know how to do it? You know, selling online, guys, is you got to wear a lot of hats. Okay. You've got to be the marketer. You got to be the salesperson. You got to be the SEO person. You got to be the designer. And I don't mean you have to do all those jobs every day, but I mean, you've got to understand all those jobs and what they entail, because if you don't do that, you're not going to be successful. All right. Number 5, we're already down to number 5. I only had 5. However, I've got some bonuses for you. So hang on. Be very direct and deliberate. What do I mean by that? Every element in the design should exist for a reason. I see a lot of people putting fluff on there and animations and stuff. If it's not going to help you, if it doesn't lead that person to getting something of value or purchasing your product, get it off your site. Because if you put a lot of that stuff on there and the site loads really super slow, you're going to lose people. Don't use color or font or picture just because it's trendy. I see that all the time. Don't do that. Do it because it's deliberate. Do it because it serves a purpose for you. Use it because it means something for your end user, okay, your brand. What are they going to get out of it? If you look at an element on your site and you feel like, well, that's not going to lead to a sale or lead to them knowing my brand or giving them any good content, get it off. Get it off your site. I think that's one of the hardest things for people to do, is to delete stuff from their site. They put a lot of time and effort in it. They want to leave everything there. Sometimes you got to clear house. You just do. Every design decision you make should be deliberate choice. Okay. Think about the goals that you have for each page. Why, you know, if they go to my category page, why are they on my category page? If they go to the sales page, why are they on that sales page? If they go to, let's say, describing my chicken or something in a can, what is it? What's the goal for that? You know, you've got to ask yourself that. Creating deliberate design elements, okay, is very, very important. Okay, there's apps for this that can help you with this stuff. But bottom line is, if you're not good at it, don't be afraid to hire somebody. Just understand what they're doing, how long it's going to take for them to do those things. Okay. Now, a couple bonuses for you. I just want to let you know, you can move, copy, delete a lot of things on your website. Okay. Most of these website builders now, whether it be WordPress or whether it be, you know, Kartra or Magento, you can make a lot of changes in there, and you should. It should look very clean and neat. Think about where the eye travels to. I see a lot of people will put, let's say, a buy button, okay, on their website, but they put it below the fold. Well, 80% of the people never scroll. And if 80% of the people never scroll, they're never even going to see your buy button. They don't have a chance to it. Keep it above the fold. That's super important. Move elements with more precision, okay? Make sure that everything is precisely set in the right spot. Where is their eye traveling to? Where is that H1 tag at? Where's the H2 tag at? We're just going through all of my websites now, and we're redoing a lot of this stuff, and it takes a lot of work, and I understand that. I talked Saturday about a friend of mine, and I went to see him on Friday, and he's been working, I would say, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week for over 30 years. 30 years it took him. Now, I'm not going to say it didn't pay off. I mean, he has huge homes, mansions at different places. He's done really, really well for himself. But I would say also, don't do this to yourself and not get some value out of it. It's hard. I mean, he's a tough guy and he can do it, but it's hard to work 14 hours a day, 7 days a week and stay motivated. Okay. My motivation is on Fridays, we go out to a lunch. Every single Friday, we go out to a lunch. I've done that for about 6 or 7 years. My wife and I will go out and just enjoy ourselves. Sometimes we'll just go shopping afterwards for no apparent reason. But I work all week long. I work on the weekends too. Some people don't work on the weekends. They say, well, Monday through Friday is good for me, 9 to 5. You're not going to get a whole lot accomplished Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, because there's a lot more hours in a week. Matter of fact, let's calculate the hours in a week right now. Now we sleep roughly one third of the time we sleep. But there's a lot of time we're awake. So let's take that 16 hours. Okay. 16 times 7. Okay. That's 112 hours. If you're only working 40 hours a week, you ain't going to get much done. It's not going to be that helpful to you, right? If you're only working 40 hours a week, what time are you wasting? You say, well, JR, I'm just so busy. Really? Do you watch any TV shows? How much TV are you watching? Do you fart around on YouTube? Now, I spend a lot of time on YouTube, but I spend more time creating content on YouTube than I do spend watching YouTube. So that's the one thing I'll tell you. Social media platforms are okay, but make sure you're spending more time creating than you are watching, because you're either building your business by creating content, or you're helping another business build their business by watching their content. Now, I'm not saying don't watch it. I look at my competition. I look at other companies out there. I try to see what they're doing. I try to learn from it. Okay. And I have another channel, which I'm coming out with, guys. It is a cooking channel. It's actually already there. I already have the first video shot. I'm going to be uploading that soon. But I'm into cooking. So whatever you're into, I would suggest you doing a channel so you have some information on that. Let me get back over to my live stream there. And guys, before I get out of here, if you have any questions whatsoever, if you have any comments whatsoever, please put that in the chat box. If you're watching this and it is already recorded, you can put it in the comments section. I do come back through and answer all those comments. But you guys have been great today. I really appreciate you being here. It's been a great session. I hope you've gotten something out of it. If you did get something out of it, please comment there. Put something in the chat box. Put something in the comment section below. I really appreciate your comments. They mean a lot. I want to thank everybody for being here today. It's been a great session. I'm leaving a little bit early today. I'm normally about 30 minutes and we're 22 minutes into it. But you guys aren't talking much. So, not a lot I can do about that if you aren't talking much. But we did go through 5 things. If you missed any of these, go back to the beginning of the video and watch them. They're all super important for you having a successful website. So make sure you go back, check those out. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I will be here again on Wednesday. Wednesday is the 15th. If you're not on my email list, go to jrfisher.com. That's spelled JRFISHER.com. And get on my mail list. All you got to do is opt in for anything. Okay, get a freebie from me. And you can certainly get on the email list. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button down there. Turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I will see you on Wednesday.